If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. All right. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. Y'all, happy Wednesday, y'all. Happy Wednesday. And look, shout out to Stevie Mackey. Look, I said that might be my new Christmas jam for 2022. That's my main Christmas jam. Now, I usually jam to good old Whitney Houston, Joyce of the World. That's always a good one. And I personally like God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, you know what I mean? And you know, all of those different ones like that and stuff. But yeah, came across that one this year, y'all, and yeah, I was like, why is he jamming so hard with the Jesus? Oh, what a wonderful child. I love it. So yeah, man, Jesus, what a wonderful child. That was a sneak peek at that. But anywho, I mean, I guess I play that partially because I was going to tell you all about yesterday. Long story short, yeah, I hope y'all had a great day yesterday. Mine was just fine. A lot of good stuff was happening yesterday, so to God be the glory, you know what I'm saying? Your girl got a deposit for a booking next week, so praise the Lord for that. I was out there, you know, getting a little funds, you know, or whatever as well yesterday. So to God be the glory for that as well. You know, the Lord is showing me favor and got me. I'm supposed to be doing a gig on Friday evening. And so, yeah, man, you know, to God be the glory for the funds that are coming in. Because Lord knows they're needed around here. And, you know, because I have so many things I want to do, as always, you know, it's always good to have some resources, you know what I'm saying? Something tangible to work with, you know, and everything like that. So to God be the glory, man. I see the Lord moving, and I'm thankful for it. While I was out there, I guess you'd say hustling in the streets. I've been hustling from home. Now I've been hustling in the streets a little bit lately. Long story short, your girl has started doing Uber Eats. I know y'all like, oh, really? Yeah, I started doing Uber Eats or whatever, and you know, it's been a good, you know, I feel like it's been a good addition to. Again, what I'm already doing was already established. Like, it hasn't taken away from anything. Like, y'all still get the daily inspiration. Y'all still get the talk show. I'm still able to film whenever people have signed up to come and be on the show. But days when it's slow, I've been able to get out there and, you know, get some extra funds for our household. So, you know, to God be the glory for these different opportunities and things. I mean, you know, and I have been able to, like, take my son with me and whatnot recently and stuff, and that has worked out as well. And so basically I share that part to say that, like, at some point yesterday while we was out, we just was listening to Christmas music. He just, every Christmas song that played, he's like, I want to hear another one. And then next day I know he was asleep. So well, yeah, so it was just nice. And I really do wonder, like, what does NJ think of me, or what is he going to think of me when he grows up? Like, you know, I know times, you know, I know he say he loves me, and I know he looks at me with adoration and all those different things. Because even like yesterday while we was singing the Christmas songs, I would look back at him, like if we was at a red light or something, you know, I would look back at him and be singing, and he just be smiling and trying to sing too. And then anything he saw me doing, like I was snapping because I can't clap, while I'm driving. So I was snapping or whatever. He's like, I can't do it. He was trying to snap, and I was like, well, son, if you can't snap, you can go ahead and clap because you got both of your hands, so you can just wave your finger. You know what I'm saying? And so he was trying to do all of that, and just a cute moment, like really picture perfect movie type of moment. And so yeah, man, you can't make that type of stuff up. You got it can't be replaced. Special moments, and to God be the glory for those as well. In my heart and mind, the word that's in my heart and mind right now is priceless. Like, it's worth more than what the Lord has saw fit for our family to receive financially. To see him smiling, to see him, his mind, like his reasoning is very wise for in my opinion. Now I know everybody probably think that way about their child, so not taking away from how you feel about your child and X, Y, and Z. I'm just saying when it comes to ours over here, I really see something in him. Like, I know other people say they've seen things in him as well. And but one of the main things I've observed is that he brings people joy. Like, just him. Little things he do, little things he say, all that type of stuff really brings people joy. And I was telling him that yesterday, and I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he had said something, I give joy to the people. Or something like that. I was like, yeah, kid, you do. You really do. So, prayerfully the Lord continues to cultivate that in his heart and mind and life. And we're going to see what the Lord do with all of that. But, yeah, so that's a sneak peek at yesterday and everything like that. Sounds real joyful. Sounds like some good news. We done started this juice out with a good little praise and everything like that. And then Stevie Mackey tearing it up on the Christmas song. You know what I mean? But, listen, all right. So, as y'all see today, the topic is called the Callous Nation. Ooh, all right. So, long story short, so I woke up this morning. I must have woke up early, but I must have went back to sleep. I don't know, because next thing I know, I opened my eyes and it was 5:24. And, part of me was thinking like, oh, I'm late, waking up late again. Because I felt like I woke up a little bit late yesterday as well. Late compared to the time that I have set for myself to wake up, But at the same time, I remember, let me look up the numbers. 5:24 after I get done with the prayer meditation. And so I did. And I did not write down the Hebrew or Greek or whatever the words are, but they ultimately made me think about Callous Nation. And I was like, Lord, well, because, there is a lot around us that makes it seem like, even this nation of America, if I just focus on where I'm at, right? The nation of America seems very callous. I know that, I want to say 2020? Yeah, I think maybe early 2020 or whatever. What is his name? Pastor David Lynn has spoke about America and spoke about, like, this God's judgment on America and all this different type of stuff. And I don't know, man, I was kind of rebuking it, honestly, because I'm like, man, hold on, but you in Canada, you not here, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just barely finding out about, like, stuff going on behind the scenes, and I don't really think that, the whole of America is, like, with the mindset or with the things that are currently being, put out on our behalf. Like, I don't really think that majority of Americans are, callous and just so, a callous nation just yet, in my little humble opinion. I don't think that, I think that, there are a lot of caring people here. There are people that, I believe that there are God-fearing people here, now, is their voices as loud as others? Probably not, when it comes to mainstream media, it does look like, majority of the people are callous. But I mean, I guess as I was, receiving this morning, at first it was feeling kind of, like some bad news. I was like, Lord, okay. I get it. There's lots of people that are callous. I mean, even just yesterday, I was listening to Angela King, and she was talking about how she just doesn't understand how, like, a son could celebrate his father's failure and take part in his father's failure, which she made observations about basically the runoff election here in Georgia and how I guess that last Senate seat or whatever the case is. And on one hand, I'm like, well, it's biblical. The Bible does say that, father's gonna come against son and mother against daughter and all of that. So I mean, on one hand, I guess we can't be too surprised about things like that. But on the other hand, I understand where she's coming from and stuff because, even if me and my mom might disagree on, things, there might be things that me and my mom would disagree on, but I just, I wouldn't come against her in the public realm to be like, oh, tear her down, like, and tear down her movement, tear down her legacy. Like, that's not what I would do as a child, But hey, some people, again, have different relationships with their parents, but still, I think there's something about honoring our parents in the place that they are in. But that's, I guess, a side note. But yeah, and so, but basically, I'm sharing that to say that, yeah, there's a lot around us that makes it seem like, man, this world is very callous. Like, I mean, again, if you hear another news report about a tragic death or X, Y, and Z, you can get discouraged and start to get a little bit numb to all of that stuff, right? And just so, yeah, from the big to small scale, it does seem like, the nation is callous. And on one hand, again, that doesn't feel good, right? To feel like you're in a callous nation because, it really don't usually turn out good for those nations, at least when, nations that come against God. I know they like to think about all these different ones. I haven't really done all the research to sit here and tell you exactly what happened with each nation. But I mean, everybody knows about like Rome and what was it? I said the Aztecs. So, like basically any other nation that comes against God or whatever, it don't last. Like, and so that's one thing, and it's concerning, in X, Y, and Z. I know people talk about the quote unquote exodus. People talk about leaving America and all these different things because they don't agree with the things. Anyway, well, with all that being said, what are we to do, right? If we are feeling like we are in the midst of a callous nation. So that's what I was receiving this morning, y'all. So let's get into it and see what the word has to say. But first, let's talk about this definition of callous. Because, again, the word callous wasn't exactly used, but it led me to think about callous when I saw the Strong's Concordance this morning. So callous, that definition says showing or having an insensitive or cruel disregard for others. Woo! All right, if I talk again about that gentleman that Miss Angela King was referring to or whatever, and how on one hand he doesn't live in the state of Georgia, for example, but he celebrated his father's quote unquote defeat. And she was saying, like, it's like you don't care about the people here because you don't live here, so you don't have to worry about whatever it is that the people here have to deal with now that things have gone a different route or whatever the case is. That's an example, but hey, regardless of that, I mean, there's plenty of, again, examples of it seems like people don't care about others. To be honest, even with myself, I was like, Lord, is this for me today? Is this me? Like, I'm just trying to live, but I don't know. Every time I come across these verses, y'all, I take them personally first. I look at myself first and be like, is this me? Is this me? Is this word for me? And it might be in some ways, but I was receiving that it was a nation thing and then not just me. So, but still, it's good to look at yourself and make sure, what I'm saying? But anywho, because yeah, it starts with us. It starts with each individual person. The nation is well, our nation is a melting pot, but it's a variety of people, and the individual person is involved in that nation. So that's something to think about as well. But anyway, so Ephesians 4:19, it says, they have become callous and have given themselves up to sensuality, greedy to practice every kind of impurity. All right. Well, again, like, does that sound like us? Does that sound like you today? Or is this what you're doing? Are you practicing these things? Um, I mean, it does sound like us, the U.S. of A. You know, it does sound like what is being put out about us. And everything like that is the narrative is that, yeah, we're it doesn't matter about, the future humans. It doesn't matter about, children. That's the narrative that we're putting out here with the choices and decisions that are being made or whatever. It's like we don't care about none of that. We only care about ourselves and maybe our family secondary, but ourselves first, and definitely not the things of God. And so, is that you today? I hope that's not me. I don't want that to be a representation of me, and everything like that. But is this a representation of our nation? Based on all the debates, I would say probably so. The fact that, we are having these debates means that, there are these questions that's being asked. So, let's keep going, y'all. So then Proverbs 14 and 34, it says, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach for any people. So that really stood out to me this morning, because at first, like I said, I was just, I saw the words, I saw, Callous Nation, I saw all this stuff. I'm like, Lord, okay, is this us? Is it time for the judgment for America? Like, what are we doing here, Lord? Like, what is it? But this is like a glimmer of hope, this verse right here. This verse in Proverbs 14 and 34, it's like a glimmer of hope. It says, righteousness exalts a nation. If we just focus on that part, then, it shows us that, there is grace and mercy for us, right? For the righteous. Like, honestly, now, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of examples of, like, I feel like there's examples of nations that were saved by a few people in the Bible, but definitely of people that were saved even if their nation was judged. So, it behooves us to stay on the straight and narrow. I know it can get discouraging, and you're looking at these things and you're like, Lord, why do I care then? The nation is crumbling. All the different things we can feel about the things that we are observing. But hold on to your righteousness. Stay righteous. Stay, focused on the Lord and his will and what he wants you to do, X, Y, and Z. Because I'm even seeing that, again, even in the midst of all the things, yours truly and in my household and everything like that, I feel like, the Lord has continued to bless. The Lord has continued to provide. And, the Lord has, I would say, I don't know if we put the blood in the spirit, we put the blood over our doorposts, because, over our household, I mean, the Lord, we go through struggles. We've been going through some stuff, but it has not been nowhere near like what others have, and also what like things that we are observing happening in our nation right now. So God be the glory for that. And yeah, there's a glimmer of hope, y'all. There is a glimmer of hope when it comes to this conversation about the Callous Nation. So then let's go to this next verse here. It's Psalm 33 and 12. It says, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, the people whom he has chosen as his heritage. So yeah, let us choose the Lord, y'all. Like, because we're blessed. We're blessed out here. In spite of what it looks like and stuff like that, let's continue to be blessed. 1 Timothy 2 and 1, it says, first of all, then I urge that supplications, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgivings be made for all people. There you go. It might be a few of us, y'all, but we can do it. We can do this for all people. Let's make supplications, prayers, intercessions, thanksgivings, all these different things. Let's do this on the behalf of our nation. If you truly, truly care, right, for our nation, then you need to be, praying and seeking the Lord and calling out on all of our behalves. Why? Here we go. Let's check this out. Acts 28 and 27. It says, for this people's hearts has grown dull, and with their ears they can barely hear, and their eyes they have closed, lest they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and turn, and I would heal them. So I mean, I know it's so easy, to look out into the nation. Let's just talk about the U.S. Again, you can talk about whatever nation you're listening to me in, because I know y'all are international, so to God be the glory for that. Think about your nations, whoever you are. But for me, I'm going to think about the nation of the United States, right? And yeah, it does seem like when you watch mainstream media and all these different things, you're like, man, this world seems crazy. The U.S. seems like it's on something else. Like, y'all is cool with murder. Yeah, y'all are cool with, like, all the stuff that's going on with the kids and all this crazy stuff. Like, y'all cool with it based on what the media puts out and based on things you see on social media and all this type of stuff. You're like, man, like, this is crazy, right? This is a lot of, the nation is callous. The nation is callous. But does that mean that we need to slip on our jobs as believers? No, that means that we need to be furthering this idea of getting out here making disciples. We need to be furthering the gospel and sharing that. We need to be out here sharing our testimonies. And on the flip side, we need to be praying for ourselves and our nation that we repent. And not only just that, but that God shows mercy on us, because this is where we're at. Regardless of people like to be like, oh, America, X, Y, and Z. They don't like it here, whatever they feel. But they don't leave, they don't make no preparations to go. And so my thing is you calling down demise on the place where you at. You calling down God's judgment, right? Well, oh, come on back, Lord, blah, 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 blah. Like, is your heart ready? Like, for that? Like, I believe that, he's showing grace and mercy. So can be more in his fold, So anyway, like, this is things that we can do, we don't have to, lean into this whole Callous Nation thing and just be like, well, the Lord figure it out, whatever. I believe that he wants us to intercede on the nation's behalf is what I'm receiving this morning, y'all. Anyway, and so, yeah, we got to have grace and mercy as well, y'all, to understand it again. Like, on one hand, I like Angela Stanton King was saying, and even sometimes I question it. I'll be like, Lord, why can't the people see? Like, it's so plain now. Like, it's out there. It's just very open. Like, people talk about this whole Balenciaga thing and all this stuff. Like, all of this stuff is just out here. It's just readily available for people to see. But it's like, nobody sees none of that. And it's crazy because on one hand, you're like, why can't people see this? It's right there. Like, you really don't see it. But if you get into the word, you'll understand that, it says here that their heart has grown dull, and with their ears they can barely hear, and their eyes are closed. So we got to understand that that's what it is, friends. Their eyes may be closed. They might have the I don't have the word in my mouth right now, but they might have the shield over their eyes. It's said better in the Bible what it's called. But, yeah, those things really might be over people's hearts and minds and ears and eyes, So, but those of us that can't see and hear, let us see and hear this. What that verse told us to do, which is it says here, first of all, then I urge that supplications, prayers, intercession, and thanksgiving be made for all people. So that's for us, y'all. That's today. That's the juice, ultimately. Again, yeah, it might be bad news to hear that we're a Callous Nation, but on the other hand, those of us that can see and hear, we have a charge, and let us get on that. So plenty of verses in the Go Deeper section to peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds this morning about all of that. But the Bible verse of today is Matthew 6:33. It says, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day. And I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
Hello, charmers. Visit ttcboutique.com for the latest in fashion and accessories. Twice the charm, the source of women clothing.